Assalamu alaikum Gambia, assalamu alaikum Gambians, friends of the Gambia. I'm Mobe Kontong, itola ani kontongol. Antelem kotenke ensa ABC United States of America, Olympia, Washington. Nal be kontong. First thing first, the musical been play kan. John Sekla musical them. I do not have copyright to this music, but I play kanjan for the purpose of entertainment. Aning o kudo si follow. Bao jama John Sek atemo jali ngara balati mimbe alonko Senegal abe oto. Bari ndekala musico nkala fala ba kele. Katu ko ala musico kawandole kataraje bak kawandi jama o kataraje. Bari bi coming nanajang wala mo kana ka diamo mbari Gambian ko le doron kanyo hakilo bulandi banko kuolemu banko tamando dunde nga mol mel soto nyaato wol mu fanna kilinnati bari modol lel fanambe karadol la aning the popular masses wol fanambe karadola o popular masses million ko wol mu civilian or the citizens of the Gambia o montani telati anim modol. We constitute the biggest portion of the people responsible in steering the affairs of the country. O kamalanga molbe tentu ni jay, just like I said, nye musical John Seklem, mbala musical play la janne as we finagle and navigate through the conversation between Natila le Jambi. B nkonsina mbadi Gambian kolu, friends of the Gambia. Nsediamo Gambia la kuola. Gambia ntolla bankolem Gambia ti. Gambia na tinyata ntolla liye. Andung Gambia banko nga badi ngol lel soto o banko kang nga terol lel soto o banko kang anim fanang ntol fanang fangoy development bal leke o banko kang. So to kamala ni nataka jube iba jela ko feo feng mi ya lon ko abe kela o banko nyinkan ntolbele dentala collectively ni nataka ol jube iba jela ko tonya Gambia dingolo as Gambians coming kam fan kumande minna ntolte sila nga kuja o mira na banko mi ya lon ko mbele be dendingal andum nene mobe denta banko nyina albe stake le sotoji moba man futu mobate in the Gambia because mo ka believe le ko eta wuluta daming e bota daminto ya e ka nganya wala o Gambia banko kan don ne nga jube kol million ko abe kerinje fo mbe nga si nga diamuno ka jube ko maybe mo ma lom man sabe mo min na kuma kan moynola ata fana kato ko senen sama kabere wati jang nga mo jamal lal soto nun mili alon ko ye Gambia mara Gambia la ko kabere 1965 nga joya julo nyin kuntu kaje komen ko nga maram fanna for Gambia nata ke republic in 1970 for saimbe alhalo minto in 1994 coup d'etat keta Gambia o coup d'etat ay Gambia kosminna mbenga jawol so to Gambia ndolbe nyanta kasino le ka jube kominko nimman karanno mumeke amulunta konte karanno la atu ko banku kendol wol katara siri nyamin e ka karan fannal la million ko abekeri ila bankol kan bar komin Gambia la ko ni nga jube alambe nga karan famfe dorom kaje komin ko na banko min nka afkumande Gambia la BBBBB just like I said kabrin 1965 kana 1994 kana 2016 aning up to sanying be 2023 kono niyo be jube ya kuonyin haimai ba jela komin ko a lot of water has passed under the bridges ka tandiko ku jamal lel tambita andon ku jamal le mu wala date mi ya lon kon se sino nge karam as human beings because hadama diya dunde atemu karamol ti wati o wati woto na banko kan Gambia banko ko mi ya lon ko amanyan kunun bi wo manyan kanyan o manyan ka bete a ko mi ya lon ko kunun nga nyaku ya fe bi o ku kilongo fana nyanta ka nyaku ya wala fe wala mahadama diya kendode ni lafita ka genuine you have to believe in something ka je kominko ni ko batara ya mambete o batara ya nyi manyan ka continue ka je ko o batara ya etara continue kan ka tara ke kan ila dulato wala ila banko kan ite na sika o batara ya nyi fasa because wo bete kala of a lesser person nete ka je ko ite la hadamadi ya fa amanjara fenna ni aje hadamadi ngol dunde nimbe yangol fatata nyola wala munyenti ko ntolo we make critical thinking and reasoning kaje komin ko kuomi ya lonko aketan na kunun nsekaran no ala nga wala data nga silo walanka jube ko sama nyanta ka manya dile bare bi nyaje jama membe kerin na Gambia banko kan amanke ka fa komin ko mol mankaram ka to ko in 2016 bere nga falindiroke na banko kan o falindiro nying mo jamale funtita na ko Gambia de bi inyanta ka karanne tol karantale Gambia dingol karantale andu ye mim fanam fango bondi o mari karantale min kata Mr. Adama Barrow me wala moti mi alonka be searing as the president of the Republic of the Gambia B in 2016 I offer ako Gambia dingol karanta ya jamme karanta aning atefanam fango mi alonko ate mimmo the leader of the coalition at the time ate fanan karantale bari bi nga kujama baje mi alonko abe kerin na banko kanga alhalo nying niye VAR the video funtindi nang 2016 kuma kangol mim fota anim bi kuma kangol mil be kering anim manyal mim be kering anim daji kol mim be kering those two things well they are very incompatible they are parallels mili alonko inenete midla in mathematics parallel lines all wal nene buka ben you know so wala mo hadamadi ya fangola karamoti kaje ko ntol as human beings ningam fankumandi hadamadi ngolla hadamadi ya manjara fenna fang mi ya lonko atambita nane fangola katun hadamadi ya la kuoku abeben singola koto kono ni ko jan dondon bi ni ko jan dandan same ko jan dandan molu ba jalala ko tonya ete dar yara fayla baluo nyindal ye hello soto jele andum bi nga mira ko as human beings as people of the Gambia ndol mili alon ko be mu Gambia dingolti molu dol fama le Gambia selo tei ye batata wol bi wol man bulano wonna fanyin kono to ete mari ni nate e bulata wonna fanyin kono ete mari nyanta lonne be mala nyaadile kato mo jamal la liela niol la pour que Gambia futande alhalo to comme a futata janyami bi ni tebe o dulanyin to be nyaato a manke la kekende ati a manke la fatiati a manke la kuti kaje comme ko etele juso fatiata mo beti Gambia wala te jarinte yata bari mari man sata la fango damma o doron wole harje nyinta aya dila pour katara e nyaato hadama dingol nyaato so ni be o hadama dingol dul nyaato ini la difference of political ideas ul se ken nyaonya ini la miralul se fata nyaonya ise mira kunun na kunu ite bota damin katuko ning hadama dingol kudo man follow wo bukal laban you know kudo man follow hotel o nene bukal labang because fuaria mo kulete miya lonko ala index sembo warata Gambia banko kambake Gambia mbe mo fuarol de whether ibe Gambia right at this moment wala te tamata ibe tubabudu jang hani ibe tubabudu ye fanko min soto tonya akela basic daily livelihood ol nying aka sone andile tentem but yes still you will call yourself as a poor person katuko sulolu nite fuari nite fanka mayata molu milbe suwo kono ibe fuari yaren kilin amunta hane bi ete man fanka maya katu ko molu milia lonko ibe sirin Gambia bankoka wo molu walla mo ite badingolti walla terolti walla mo signolti walla mo la molti milia lonko e ni ka kuol ke nyola so ning ayatara wolbe o fuaria kolema kono ete la fanka ma ya wo man na fasoto at the end of the day andum Gambia nyanta ka nyatilen ku dantan na la milia lonko nkana si nga jube komin ko kuwaitara kering ay fuma ay tambina nela tende wolto mbina wulla nga si nga je komin ko nyinna nyanta kafo kuo mi manyan dorong amanyan ando nyanta ka kuo nyin turo kundule nga sulo be kundu ka je ko make so ko mim manyan kunun ko bi amanyan kak nemma wo fontol be kala nafikol ando nafika yade asembo waratan na Gambia banko kam ba kele a country where more than 96% of that population will be yaka Islame dunke molla leko etol sutiata ala la bakele ka tonyale fo bare ku jama be kerin na banko ka ko maslan sembo warta ning ayatara ning alinga statistical jube ka jube bi Gambia la alhalo be nyadil ka bring wato minna Mr. Adama Barrow ay man sakunda ta fuaria ala kuo haimo be nyadile because in 2017 fuaria la fenkonyi is almost 12.20% womu 0.6 increase la de kabo 2016 bring Adama Barrow nata as a president of the Republic of the Gambia and wo fana ni nata ya jube the Gambia hunger statistic fenkonyi kabo 2018 13.10%, which is a 0.9% increase from 2017. So it means go, Mr. Adama Barrow, beringa nata Gambia banko kam fuaria lokuta Gambia dingol labaki. And no Mr. Adama Barrow fanam famu fuaro lete. Katuko mola mnyente mia lonko, nganyilon ne mola mati mia lonko lunna sotota nung, atenene tata ayela, amanda sam, aman konton sakasi siman. You know? Fuaro la mandarga muwalde fuaro la taman sero munete because munam ibulo me ko ben so kabrin 2016 poverty index kabo 0.6% increase kana nyin 2022 23 mimba kono bare just fast forward doronga murunko madamande nga jube kominko 2020 fuaria nyimfango ala halo nyimbe almost 21.60%, almost 22%. Fuaria, kabre Mr. Adama Barrow, anata Gambia banko kam. Fuaria nying, ateka lafa le abukatala. These are undeniable fact. Nyolle mufana te miya lonko, amanke ko, ntelenga nyulufo. Nyulumun index sol le wal nyulmu statistic le te miya lonko abe tonya yare. Oto Gambia alinga balu to nyala way. Gambia alinga nyatelin kula miya lonko nyimfuarial melinka ko diamu mbe wo banno la nyadile. Make no mistake. Molel benyin kuma kango konna. Miya lonko bi itolbe nakre Mr. Adama Barrow. E malafi kuma folae miya lonko aba sunundila abe tonya yareng walaten aba lonna ko these are the harsh realities on the ground. Bi Gambia ding wolbe bataren Gambian kodo wolbe bataren bakele ka jube komin koy be baluno la nyaadile ando ninata president o soto miya lonko o mu fuaro le tenong just like I said anane lala man konton aman siman wala sakase dasam anala family ilbe because every individual in the Gambia including myself lunna sitan nyin kuma kangol mi nga fotente ye ku do sotono ida ibetala le te kontonna wala te siman na wala man dasamale yete la kuol ke folo wala te siman no la menga nyin al halolo mbenga lonne wo ketala nu Gambia bankoka so bare ni na te ye president soto miya o fuari anyen na demingo long. Imagine if you were a child growing up ibama nyolu wala fama nyolu ye kalero lo tato ay tara lorinje na flo man soto ma fo man soto sakoren ko domoro se soto no ye ji ken se ote ya ke kalero nyin kono ay tara kalero nyin kono tending ya jonki abe tarla jonki rem pour ka dinningol sinon de pour yete ye la katoko ya believe le ko dinningol they will have the hope and the belief and the conviction ka tande komin ko tonya de atakeno fenne sotota membe jonkiring mbena mba domola with the hope that ko o jonkiro nyin abe molale baro wona ne buka mono because jiken sangole be takono jiken sango ye wala londi je wala be takan dula nyinto puru kaje komin ko wo be banno la wato minna at least Gambia no be nyin si fa sotole while growing up so ni nata ye mira o fuaria nyimbe dimindi nyamin ka dinngol sinondi just merely because fengo mi nyanta ka tabi wala man soto bari ka dinngol sinondi dore kalero lo tato anin jiken sang so woto Gambia dingolu Mr. Adama Barrow 2016 biranata poverty index kabire wo wato mu 12%, 12.2%, an increase from 0.6% wala munyente kabo 2016 to 2017. But again, fast forward 2018 kana 2017 kana 2018 is 13.10%. Imagine Mr. Adama Barrow came 2016 about 12.2%, like 0.6% increase. Poverty na Bangkoka wallet. So in 2018 I moved up from 12%, from 12.2% at 13.10%, an increase of 0.9% in 2017 and in 2018 halo nyendo. But again, nina te ya jube lafita ka kuolel foale mbotana ndamin animbe alhalo minto sanye. Because nyim poverty nyimbele Mr. Adama Barrow nata abuka talabe lafaka nedrong mune wono. So again, the Gambia hunger statistic for 2019 was 18.0%. Womu an increase 4.9%, almost 5%. Fuaria, Konko, alhalo Gambia Bangkoka 2019, womu 18%, meaning near 2018 jube from 13.1%, a jumped atata almost 18%, which is a 4.9%, 5% gap. Kaje kominko na alhalo in the Gambia. Mbe cool minkono abuka talabe lafaka nedron wati o wati. Like I said, these are not my statements. Nyulmu hard raw index solte statistically to me along ka be caring. Man sakunda von botanyin cool be kalamul. In 2020, Kabo 2019 kata 2020 kang poverty level at 21.6%, 60%. Womu an increase of 3.6%. So amuluntako Gambia la fuaria abundanying abukatala abukata akoma fokata nyato dorong. So wale akande ndako I and ABC se nko nyanta kasile we find a solution to all of this problem. Kaje kominko nyato nkolu milben na mansakunda la dulalto. Wolde there should be people milia lonko ye hakilo to back. Kaje ko tonya nibe banko kang ebe nyato nkayala. Privilege lam ye nyanto le dila ye kule dila miya lonko kabiri bae wulu inene ma soto no wala kule manyanka soto mimbete bondi no la wo silo nyinkan kaje kominko ite sila do muta minning fuari yala dimingo silo mankilin. Gambia dingol make no mistake. Nyelle mukuma kangol te mil nyanta kambali sino la kajube kominko. When there are problems, we sit down and find a solution to them. When there are things mili alonko division of a society kono nyanta ka funtile kebali ye nyoku bombo ye nyoku bondi nyoka lama ye fonte ka jube ko wo division wo difference in our society between tribes, between family members wal mukulelti mili alonko hani nunto naka sotono bari nka dandula ke no alale because of nga council of elders also ka jube buwo bumbe fitino kono e marili wuli ye wobungo nyimbonde fitino kono nyolla mukuote mi alon ko nyanta kan na nyaton ko lu balisi nola kaje komen ko tonya de okay, we have an undeniable fact kaje komen ko BBBB konkole be Gambia bankoka andunta ma wofa wol mu statistically mi alon ka be senarin set. So if ninga konko soto Gambia bankoka na nyaton kolo na mansakunda maralalo milia lonko nge kenna palasolto, they should be measured. E nyanta ka measured in their statement katuko boto kensa mbuka lono. B, ite seke blind supporter ti nyaonya, seke nakarlati nyaonya, kaje coming konteka Mr. Adama Barrow le support, wala tenka Halifa Sallah le support, wala Usainu Dawa Mama Kande, by fall, and then the list goes on and on and on. But in ning ayatara, ite be min domola, ila family be min domola, ma wol sotono. Wote ite mari la balunya dala man na faso no. Nyullal mukuti min nyanta kan na leader sol balika sino. Kaje komenko, as a people, nimfuaria be lokurin na banko kan. Nyanta ka wulile nga wofuaria nga kari hanno. Mbe wofuaria nyinkari hanno la nyadi le wala mnyentiko, we have to be truthful to ourselves. Kaje komenko, blind support wo bantale, impunity in our country wanyantaka banne, the abuse of office in our country wo fanamfa wanyantaka banne, nyantaka nyatile minna bi wala mnyentiko wala mu ko. Manyanka mola sota in the Gambia miya lonka binabe nene la so much so that kununko mbota minko na ngamurun no woka. Ngo banku kendolo a capable state wolmu bankol de milia lonko ikasika tonyafo ila nyaton kole ka tandila kominko ite mari nibe mansayala ibe nyeminke kan amanke la ke kende yati amanke la jarinte yati bari banku dingol wolle o sembote yadila mane why ite mari ite a chance doron soto to be the leader of that struggle kaje kominko be ite le nata ale ite le ni bola bari ite the leader of that country, how would you do, what would you do in order to cherish and maintain that peaceful coexistence in the country? Nyulla mukuti milia lonko nyanta kan nam nyaton ko lu balisinol. Yaje, nyaton ko mu, nyaton kaya is an art. Nyaton kaya buka force, nyaton kaya manke kuti miya lonko ika sanne, wala ten lafita molie kanu puru iye kanu doron for the sake of it. Ete mari ni be nyato inyanta ka falindiro keno nyadile bari in as long as ete man la fika bold decision ota ka tonyafo ka Gambia dingol la life falling amunta ko you become a very weak leader and wolle be sihari na dulalto whether you are the Director General of Gambia Immigration Department or you are the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces whether you are the Police Inspector General of Police or maybe you are the Director General of the Gambia Prison Services. The list goes on and on and on. All these service sectors all nga mollel soto je mili alon ko ibota kabilo lekon, ibota tundol lento, ibota korral lekon, ibota yal lento. So wal maril truly wal ya lonne fuharia benyame. Let us be honest. B, the infestation of drug in the Gambia is in astronomical numbers. Na lonne drokol mim bebe dunkan Gambia bakono. Ngo before 2016 nyem ma foka man soto de bara man siya katambik dina coming abe kaka nyamin tende. Then something is fundamentally wrong in our country. Matungal bula for 1 second ali la may John Sekla. Because like I said, ntela fan balem, you know, I'm a fan to him. Alama alaya so la jam sonia, but at the end of the day, hada mademo ibekela minti doro ikake wallet. Hanini ibekela musicianoti, ikake musicianoti ki fellano pour mols e lamoino ye nafa tasoro wo kuonyin kono. Because niya jube jalol manke jalikensa o damadi, bari la jaliyanyi ka fennela pour moli nafa ta bondi a kuonyin kono. You know, al ngan lamoy John Sekla ala musico demanding. So coming back in Gambian call me min fokandron. Gambia la fuaria ala poverty indexing abukata koma fo abekta ka nyato le dron. And the war anyanta ka ke concern for every well-meaning Gambians. Mol milialon ko be siri Gambia banko kan. Mol milialon ko ngi sindi nyato fodon e jarite la palaso lalaba. B corruption o mimbe warle Gambia banko kan asembo warta back. Drogo mimbe dunkanje asembo warta back. Anen kujaw sifa be mimbe be kering Gambia banko kan. Hunger. Aka kujamale tinya hadama dingola baluo kono ala sufo bala, because if you become malnourished kujama bije eka deficit walale as a human being and womila God given right leti kaje coming konite be balula ibiring ale wulu nyanta ka baluno bare ni nata ka jube poverty level ka bering nyeng 2016 abe nyaka nyaming up to 2023 bimbe alhalo minto is almost 18.5%. Abeta kandoro kabo duma kata nyato. Because in 2022, 17.8%. But even in 2023, science and tending is 18.5%, almost 16%. Almost 19%. 18.5% 2023. So amuluntako, there is something wrong in our country. Na nyaton kolu, they should be measured in their statement. Kaja coming ko nyulel nyanta ke bali sino baliala. Kaja ko nyimfuari ya jawo mimbebe Gambia bankoka. Nyinkonko jawo mimbebe Gambia bankoka. Itolibe woda fal no la nyadile. Dina ka wule kata public platform oto ka kuma kalantam bal foje milialonko. They have no bearing. They have no correlation to change the life and livelihood of Gambian people. But Gambia dingo lafita ka mimmoy bi mi sula wala mnyentiko na bagaso lu milia lonko ibe marsewolto wal dabe talano la nyaadile kaje kominko ete mimmo fankamati ibe siri la bungo kono ni la musoki ay moto fande grocery store fankolla kanaka sambane la suola fuaro fana asitano le aye wo fenkilingol sanno aya sambanan suwa kono bari in as long as there is that inequality gap within our society amuluntako womu kuolte miya lonko womu kukurongolte kato ko fuaro ni mfankama ibe ye right sotole ka live yaje the right of life wo hada madingo fango be alale wo di marila mota bondi no le bulo kono. So Gambia molu na leader sol milia lonko ngi tombonga ka refa yenko eko yesi nyato. Wolbe nying poverty nyi ba eradicate no la nyadile. Poverty te eradicate no la in the Gambia, in our communities, in our wards, and in na municipalities also. Ate kenola ning ayatara corruption obe continue ka wati. Corruption in all facet directions. Asifa be abeke kan kaje komin ko nyullel be kerin na bankoka wol mu kuti mi alon ko de mo sembo wata way nyaton ko nko nim moye corruption oke e ka mari kitindile yining loi ya muta ya soron amari ada bondi wo man sakunda ta mandir nyakon nyaton ka kendol ka nyineke corruption o ka map out no tenne fuariate banno la ning ayata corruption o be siare na bankoka anun corruption o aka konko le wulu o konko mimbe Gambia bi wo be continue la ka rise because we have leaders milia lonko they don't want to fight corruption imang la fika sembo fang soto imang la fika miraro soto ila hakile fang kono kaje komen ko bi ntolbe nyalo la ngan singo tuto ka jube ko ntamu fuare dingolati berenata 2016 because Gambia la nyato ngol be fuare e be mo fuare olte including myself konta be nyame so at least nga expect leko wole fuare ala demingo lonne so iko he who feels it knows it right ngamere wala so nite fuare ala al halo long fuari ala demo je nyami woto ni corruption oje abenaka ya alonko wo fuari anye o corruption on you waka fuari akafule aka fumandile because more milia lonko more dantan milia lonko wollel be nyato wollel ka continue to become more and more corrupt. So mune mu solution ot. As leaders of countries, as leaders of our institution, wol nyanta ke nyatile wola to crack down on corruption. First thing first. Ka jube coming ko nying hunger. Hunger ka famine aka wole continent. Ka jube coming ko ngajele ko in Rwanda, in other countries, milia lonko genocide ani wo kelol wolia kendile fodde na nolu fango dindimmerol ni wuluta ese karakulota ye konte ka jube mu karakulu jelle bela la ripsol bebe banta. The level of pain hunger kaminke. So corruption of fananka wala ken na bankoka andunga nyanta ka banno nyami wala mda leaders all, they have to have the guts, they have to have the zeal, they have to have the skill set and the ambition kaje kominko o corruption o danno why nko corruption o nabe kering bankoka hani ning ayatara bote bama la karola wale fama ete mari nyanta example or setla because leadership is all about being exemplary. But nite ma wo leadership la exemplary nature nyenta nite ye suman corruption ola aka modole fana motivate to become corrupt because ya jela komenko there are no consequences. And the woman masiba party na bankoka wale haken the Gambia being a very pauper state, a very pauper state. Abe continue like a poor. In as long as na nyembanku ndingo ninna leader so lufangolo ning ayatara e kendeata, e beteata, they are true to their nature. Ye alabatota, ye nyateling to crack down on corruption. Within the next 5 years, Gambians are on Gambia from a bay tile no because Mbesila kendo le produce la. Kajeko makes on nimbe contract or dealer mola ngadi mola milia lonko. They have all the machinery, the tool. But yet ye doku di mola milia lonko a man tender process on ye mantaji. Yene ya di mola because wo mari just ila territero lem doro at the end of the day wo be doku furi ngole kele because aba feel lako ninga nyin doku nga betendi wo nga tinyandi wo nterle beje ataku fola na ataku kelana lack of consequence ofananka ken na institutional they fail. That is why there is an institutional failure in the Gambia across the board, starting from the presidency of the Republic of the Gambia kata down to the ladder. Every sector in the Gambia are baby tinyaring. Just because we do not have good leadership in there, Kaja Komenko. They have to get the courage and the zeal, Kaja Komenko. They fight for the poor people of the Gambia. But is that happening? No, it's not. Mone akenda mantarake ala nyasila mbalia aning la balia hadama dingo fangola because people are so superiority in complexity le kataramola. Hadama do nima karang ima londo soto ima fahamo soto ete katara silandi fam fele doro milia lonko ibeje ya londo soto because it will bukatara ke la energy direct towards you the will kala fele ke ila londo ba obetol kungokono but ite mimma soto ima fahamo soto ima manmano soto ana matimato ima soto ite ke la energy be focus le kaje komengo nyimol mil karantambatu ngatara nyatilenka either one to destroy them, number two kaje komengo their voices never stand because ite ma fero soto ite ta falin nola bari walla doku o be man tele itela ete mari ete ke nyatile wol dammal ya bata fango jele ikatara conflict re fanna ka jube komenko ibeta la mol tinyala le ke doku ka kuja wol kela ayatara nyindon be la firin komenko ay londo min soto alla fita ka londi kutole fanam fango soto mi ya lon kala abe hadama dingon la life falin oto Gambia nyanta kan hakilo to bakale na leaders all million ko be na bankol to na tundol to including the presidency of the Republic of the Gambia kaje komenko it's about time na si nga nyatile na Gambia nkolla kaje komenko fuaria nyanta ka kelele fuaria e konkole donde Gambia banko kan up to today konko be na banko kan na leaders all nyanta ka lole in a platform ka jube ko bi nin konko min be na imbanko kan mbe alhalo minto nyintundo minto bi mbe October 15 2023 janiba fola another October 15 2023 mbe nyinyon hectare mbe wale produce la in terms of groundnut, rice, and in domor fendolu puruka jubeko to eradicate poverty in our country. But are we doing this? Nyulla mukute mi alonko mbe kekamba? Honey, we are not doing this because ibe minke kan na bangoka wala mnyentiko. Mo dantan no wale continue ka fanka mayadoro. So fuaro mi alonko itebe sirim fatoto. Ete mi alonko ibe sirim ventolab sateto farbabanta. Ete ila kuobe iba ke kanyame amunta ko ite la fuari yaka say la komala. Remember, I told you in 2016 poverty rate index mi alonka be Gambia Bankoka kabo 2016 kana fosanyi abuka talafa akaselesele man Adama Barrow kan bare ngalon ne ko Mr. Adama Barrow tonya ntolla nga nati 2016 bare Mr. Adama Barrow ay Gambia dingol proofle we have been proven time and time again ka aje komen ko tonya de momo malafi nakarola ngalon ne ko Mr. Adama Barrow is not the solution for the Gambia's promised land, because faham ro nyintije fero nyintije andunga malafi fananka falindiroke by cracking down on corruption, by cracking down of drug infestation in our country, by cracking down to reduce poverty in our country. Wala be kerin na Bankoka. Nyulla mufannati milia lonko anyanta ka fole nyulla nyanta ka fo wate ngo Gambia 96%. Like I always bring in this figure. Wala mukuti milia lonko wolko etolmo islame dunke mollel. Gambia dinglo wato niko islamo wala mutonyati. Fania jaji keso fam manyanka kataje wai. Wato, when shall we have a Gambia where people will be so dignified? Kajeko bide ntede ngakuma maslande mbalefo. I am resigning because I have value, honor, and integrity in myself. When are we going to have a Gambia? Mia lonko moye tarala institution okon ya investigate ya jekomenko Amari has been corrupt in astronomical number. Amari fonde aya admit aya foko resign tale because yem motalente musung kanyoleti. When shall we have a Gambia where molu ibe funtila na near traffic violation okay yete ye fan samba police olia ye fan submit police olia ya fo ko he ntede nga red light ole tambi manyanka wo tambi because luwa ko ne red light nata wo nyanta ka chance di modo lale wole tambi barente nga wo cross le ma nyankake ale muta ale encha nyanta ka menjo. It's all about honesty. You know, I keep telling my kids, Kaja come and go, kids, Alkana Jube, always keep doing the right thing when no one is even watching. Because you know what? There is somebody somewhere always watching, which is the supreme being, Allah. Wole kam Jube roke wate. So you should not be an army officer. Kaja come and go, Emantarela doku okekang, but near drill sajino je abenaka ye fanke fitar lati ye dulal fenke ka foko ye odolu order rank soli ye tare supervise la one ten do kuote womo eye service lati in service nka mem for eye service wala mo e la do ko mo minti mantara ka ke bare nite nyaay supervise o je ye fam bisinde katara ku do ke ka o nyanta ka bonna banko kan nko nyanta ka true to ourselves do kuol mil mba ke ka wo do kuol wala ke la family balunde. But fodon la feta la kan na family balonde kula miya lonko abe la teo dundila na family kon wala yaken the family jama dulal be dysfunctionalta in the Gambia simply because haramu ye family ye entire generation o be balonde wala illa feta ka baluni tarol la ka je komen ko ite as a leader of the country imanyanka kodita miya lonko amanke tat. Because mbenga alone, central government does not pay much in our countries. Central government. Wobuka jori bake? You know? Central government na doku o ninkombe wala jubela.
modo e bunjamba lo ita lo na Gambia oto Gambia la honga nying abe danno la nyaadi le ning mammol soto milia lon ko la feta yinkela in Brikama area council example ba fam fela be keri nyakoto Yankuba Dabo nata within 100 days 3 months 10 million are being reduced to almost next to $330,000 trying as we speak a surplus lesoto ala account auto 3 months. Imagine if Yankuba Dabo would be given the chance to continue to serve for the next 5 good years. Brikama Area Council abetar la nyadila. Ngajele time and time again. Leaders all Milia Alonko, finance director, and so many other people. Yankuba Dabo, almost 15 to 16 people. I will suspend Puru Yetaye C's work on through the council resolution. Kaje komen ko Yetaye C. Katuko wala manya. Aning ye min produce if la corruption scandal kono o manke dalilo tinge ke yo palaso to min nyul mukule ti mi alonko kuja ba wallal ketanna bankol kan andunga manyanka kontine wo nyama Gambia banko mbemo fuare banko bari fenta mi alonko itale mati wa ile dang ila joda mato wala bu alhalol te mili alonko abe keri nak bankoka wala atina fuaria sembo be wara lad na bankoka unless and until the presidency of the Republic of the Gambia we ball action otakaje komenko abe o crack down on corruption, drug infestation and also institutional abuse. Bari yamera be kenola nyadile ate kenola mumeke when you have a leader of a country Mia Longo is the apex of all leadership. Wo fanka rights all violate. Wo fanka buka telling ala subjects all tema. Wo fanka ke mote Mia Longo ate mari ala tamandirinya. Abuka telling banko dingol tema. So it would become very, very difficult kaje coming ko puro banko nying aina to be a capable state. To be a country Mia Longo mo baby sile ya for coming ko. I am proud to be a Gambian because Gambia is becoming a promised land. Because nakarombe wale bondilan na kuolkon. Nyaton kayamu atleti is an art. Amuluntako momi alonga katara siringa e buluma kalando kuol no aka chenya min from nothing to something. Nyaton kaya fanambe wale nyama. Niko itebekela nyaton kote bari imman lafika kurungo moye ifangola kuoto wala te iteka dima damale moye. Ete la mansakunda titano la nyato mumeke. But lafita mansakunda la miya lonko. They will treat every Gambian as the sons and daughters of that country. But in as long as nga nyato kol soto milia lonko, because of their limited knowledge and the skill set and their technical know-how, they have a limited foresight ka jube komen ko mansakundal kata manyami wolo ninga wo mo sifal soto wolke mira nyaadile wol personal development, personal gratification, aning etolla dandangol doronna ila kabilo kono mol milia lonko beje wol eka wollel develop. They'll forget about the masses of the Gambian people. Wobuka banko damande. Banko tamando, you would have to be told that hey nye mambetea nye munyeneti. Banku tamando miya lonko. You have to fight and crack down on cocaine, drugs. Fight and crack down on corruption. Kaje komen ko birite nata ite mari. Ima min soto nonka wale dila. So ni nata in a public platform, in a public service. Ibe sirinje ite nyantaka doku kendole ke nothing less. Bari nyantaka Gambia dingol joku lede. Gambia betaka nyaminga mambetea konko be balukan Gambia banko kan bag and wo konko abe moja mala fana mfala wo Gambia banko kan because of the inaction and the inability of our leaders to make Gambia a transformative nation. Obekeno la nyadi le wala mnyentiko, you have to be true to yourself. Kaje komenko ngo mo membesiri mfatoto wo ko bakono wo dulato o yala kunkole soto o yala dabandengole soto woka baluno nyami anala wo limited resources. Ete miya lonko ebe State House of the Gambia ebe balukan over how many a lot of money, $250,000 a month. excluding the allowance and per diem and some other benefits. So amulunta ko give and take. Ni president la balunya jube amulunta ko aka fenne soto mi ya lonko omu fanka ma yality. Woto Gambia dingolo nyanta kan hakilo to bakele. Gambia will never transcend to become a promised land ninga taranga nyinsi fal soto among address. Then going to a platform, political platform, katara opponents ulta ke garwalle as if ko before ite mari binale ite manke opposition otino. Because ite mari mo opposition ote bare bi inyina takuo bela kominko mol milialo ye nati mol mim balanta ko ite kalila banko kam bini eke ibulo ni wollel bulanyo mirankilon kon. Ha wokuo masila sembo watan. Wale atina in the Gambia, no one should trust anybody anymore. In as long as Molu, Milia Lonko Ebesir in 2016, Milia Lonko, ite kenola hani watchman of Famoti. Being a wallel sindi in the State House of the Gambia, bari nyinata, nemo ning horomo nimbunya, nyinata kununge bondi dame. Mia Lonko, ila dal be katarafaral fa yelo ka funti pach. Ida kono nila fitaka jele bat. You know, ngela life jele before. Mr. Adama Barrow before I ngala life jele. He was very poor. Ika longato by looking merely at him. Because he was never a rich man. He was never even a comfortable, medium, comfortable man ka for coming ko atebe life le live kan in a decent standard. Ngalon. Bari, we cannot rewrite history by saying that coming ko ntemu fanka malti mketa nyina tinga ngatra molu miya lonko ye dada ye kankuran jafasede wali yalo ne bondi dame wai ite ni mira wala koma ise mira ala fanam fangola kula wai. Gambia does not deserve this kind of betrayal from Mr. Adama Barrow and ala group of mol. Because Mr. Adama Barrow, make no mistake, ka atandi coming ko Gambia dingol be prosecute lale to put you somewhere where you belong. Because nko hadamadi ya kono kuo me mambete a mota bete andino la wai. Ando nembe nyemfokang. Make no mistake. Mbajala ko only the opposition people, only the people from Adama Barrow camp wollebe yinkuma kangol balana. Because nyina mutonyate minyanda kafo. Ningam fang haima ngam fan na kindi nko 96% on statistic. Nko walla muslimot. And on Muslim and in Christianity, nko tonya fole manin tonya lem wolti. Ning ayatara wallam woti. Oto ete believe te la alaminna. Ete mari manyanka tonya nakarwai. Gambia dingol be batarine. Gambia dingol be konkorine. Gambia dingol be masilandine. Gambia dingol kijole farata kotenke. Ka tandi kominko. Ngo maral jawo min ketan na banko kan. O maral jawo wole be kirin na banko kan kotenke wai. Womu ku maslande mbati. Womu ala nya soki bati. Ka ye kominko o ku sifase murunan na banko kan. Ka ye kominko ntol molu as a people. Ntol be sitale nga o ku onyin kele. Nko amanyanka muruna banko kan. Ye be president fango ya jube no way out because at a long ala time o bantale. Gambia dingol they continue to despise if balantale ka Adama Barrow fasa kotenke. Katung they have seen the true nature of the guy. Hadamadom ni la feta kalong ane luntangolan telefikiling telefula sabanjango ikala daji ko lonne way wala keta Gambia dingol ning Adama Barrow tema way. Mamira ko inyanta ka bonang Gambia dingol le silo min na nata wala je ye wala ke Gambia dingol andu woman betea imanyanka Gambia nol jowol nyanko inya tilin doku wala nie doku kendoke mol mi yalon ko sun kanyol muy bela Gambia government kono ebe corruption o kala every day and night ila government institution o auditor general la report o fango ye mimbe fontende ako nyimarilu nyimmolu corruptale ye nyin deficiency la soto ila mansa kundal kon ila tamandir nyal kon. What more do you need, Mr. President? Isu lata muna la Gambian ol bulo puru ya for ye coming where you should go after those people. And wala can the tilimbali ala ben na banko kam because the police serious police institution ning ayatara data funtita a report funtita ka atande kominko nyenne wallal corrupta. The police does not have to wait for the president to tell them go and do your job. Itala doku on president wala doku on man killing. As a police officer, you have to maintain, you have to protect life and liberties of the Gambian people. Detect crime before they even happen. Protect the Gambian people of all the other ills from criminal attack and gangsterism. You should not be a reactionary police force. But you should be a very proactive police force. You should be bound on things. You do your investigation and due diligence. Just like these few days, police only doku kendo minke. Ye drug, ye mol muta mi alonko in one of the police stations. Ye mo tata mi alonko a person kataka tai dunde mburo kono nyemburo mi alonko ay akasukuro soto kata modo jube ya mwari muta. So police wala doku mu walete. Lafita alie continue ka wo sivala ke ka jube kominko. Nalie doku kendo ke Gambian people will get up and embrace you and praise you kaje kominko alie doku kendo ke. But we do not want a police force me along ko ebechila ye baton ka foko president. We are waiting order from the top. Wal mu kulati mi masilan nung nko mbota wal konale. So nyanta ka kukuto lel soto na banko kambi. Kaje ko tonya. Police force nyantaka proactively. Kaje kominko ye doku kende balke. You know? Niye woke. Mbe buloko silele ngafo eko kudos to you. Congratulations. Allah baraka bake. Allah doku betead. But unless and until aliye woke bari alkataraka siring kaje ko rights of the Gambian people have been violated by nobody other than the police force. Womukuti mi ala masilanta because the protection of life and liberty and in the protection of safety in the country, peace and tranquility, lies in the hands of the police. If the police themselves are doing the same right violation, who is going to be making the police to be accountable then? So, wolmu kuwati miya alonko a jarita jubela, nyul mukulati miya alonko a bebe kerin na banko kan jam bibi. And the Gambians will never allow these things to be to thrive under the atmosphere of that country. Because alka mol mil muta. After all molu ye bading on lel soto. Ye kanunte on lel soto. At least nali o mol la generational fanal fango be jubali la kabilo jubi. Albena jela ko tonya. Hana bekela mo kele mo fulalde wol maril. Wol fanambe larenka Gambia government ne support. But what if ni ita mari ye ne yo mari muta ye tajirante ya kala yala right violate. Ye kuja wakala. Mune bina kela. We need a Gambia miya lonko more baby tarlaje. Whether you are poor or you are rich or you are in the middle class or whatsoever. Yetaraje to live in the Gambia in a very peaceful manner. Ayatara kuma nyanke sesor. Nko mol katara sirin santo konole. Etol marili la sio santo kono la fuaria keta nyaonya. But at the end of the day, ibe ala tenture, ibe baluka, ibe kontanre. Fankamal dung, wal katara jele ye sunyaro ke ye la kodo lafa ay siya bake, kontane bu katara kuwa kono. So nyanta ka woju ben na banko betaka nyame. Mr. Adama Barrow manke Gambiati, anene tekele Gambiati, privilege o Gambia dingoli wole chika ngadiala. So nsulata minna horomo nimbunya, I won't jukal say in the Gambian olla by treating all of us equally under the law. Nsulata o dollar nada. Anything less wo mu kulete miya lonko mbajela ko tonya de. Nyimmu molete miya lonko aman kanyandi. Katon president wala supporters all. Ni wole lua tinya. Muna kende lua buka tameka. Oh, bari ning opposition wala hani misalo fe man lua tinya barika. They work so hard. Kaje komenko ye lua tinya katandila. That's not the Gambia miya lonko ntolngi bonding in 2016. Iningo haftani sifalu milka dung. Mili alonko bite fankatandino la ko itele nene wol dung. And nun kumakangol milbe ya for Mr. President Adama Barrow wol bebe sirinjele. o kuma kangol bebe jele mote mo nene la nyim banko kam nyim banko Gambia lua banko lem and lua le nyanta ka maintain nyim banko ka especially the police force milia lonko itolle marata ka lua alfango enforce e nyanta ka tilinne kela dokuo ke ni man sakunda ning president Adama Barrow e bayila dokuo la wo tonya fo kamma e kaunse jampa ibe doku kende dole soto la minta mbita yindi bari Gambia nolu ku maslandi mbabe keri wodula wala kendi prosecution obe siya bala faeta minane and I always keep saying ko ning ayatara nanyi religious leader man wole ye fundi ye president o ye tonya fae ka fae ko ibe nyiminke kan am masilantalde amam betea andon silotem senen samalte silaliye bato another commission of inquiry and law ali afa alfaye ko ha alinga Cairo sabati ndi Gambia mbele mkilindi tonya molka fole Gambia mbe mkilindi bari be under the dispensation of Gambia Adama Barrow, President Adama Barrow wayata ndila nale ko Gambia mbe mkilindi wo manke tonyati mbe manke kilinti de because ngaje molka mol neng Adama Barrow fango la platform otole ibe nendiro sifa bekela fembuka kela bari bi e kasile ya jube komen ko sign itolla fita social media fango shut down itoli o sembos fango la sodoba Mr. Adama Barrow inya telling doku wala miya lonko wala mka Gambia develop inyanta ka doku sifa nyadi leke kanyim fuarial tala ka jube ko ya jamme doku wal minke adanta daming woma minke no bite ya continue wala ye tambi wala ka je coming sinin sama ni sita banko ka ise lano ifanna wala ise lano ka even try to sit in the Gambia but a cool mill baketa from 2016 up to date wo muku maslandi mbalti woya kendi hana danta jantam fango damma Mr. Adama Barrow you cannot be free in the Gambia because he be prosecute no lale based on the evidence milketa command responsibility ye mol karande minal wala mnyente ko nyaton ko ni be dami ila ma nyaton ka ila doku o kono ila maralo koto ku nori wo nori naketa wo koto abe lale tele kungoka ma foko itele yake bulola bari mollali yake andu wo muitela maralo le kotote bari ite as the leader of the country e moneka anoto kasi ke bulole anyokan wala yake ni malla fi leader so la ye nanna banko ka milia lonko they would be even close to being compromised by big businessmen and financiers. Because New Worketa, ake fayo fale, this is why ka fokomenko conflict of interest among better. Man la fi mansa sotola na banko ka miya lonko mo betar laje aya jeko nyende ate diamuno la simply because maybe modole corruption o abe wala kon. So nyul mo fannate miya lonko man la fi weke na Gambia Bankoka man la fi kuweke Gambia Bankoka whereby moral rights are being violated police all man actionota just simply because itoli nyalo president wala kan they are waiting for the president to tell them that hey al actionota nyinkota we do not want that 2016 but adula kawaku balat but for all that to come all over again womuma sibolet in na Bankoka and then nem moming ya lonko e man si ya fo ite mari be kala nafikol president onala moli be minke kanga manyang amam bete ya manyang kake ka je coming ko Gambia mbele tamu Gambia te mbele nyanta protect la under the law nim moye lua tinya whether you are opposition or pro government ibele nyanta ka prosecute. This is what we believe in. Ndol ma fo ngana ngasi jankaje komenko ntol mu opposition ole nyanta ka kete opposition tolo yankara nemina wala mtobi law abiding ka lua horoma katum banku ni aja tano ta nyato lua horomo anim bunya wala ya samba ni nyato bare milia lonko nyanta ka lua horoma ya bunya wol fam kam bute ka lua violate ka lua tinya ka molla fundamental rights ol ka violate because ala family the right to life dealer the right to speak, freedom of speech. If Mr. Adama Barrow beri nata non ye balile kadiamo even on the state broadcaster simply because the pro government ye obey monopolize le ela diamu kangol ka fonte mun dole wala nyen WhatsApp group olti nyen mimbe caring aning other platform bar bi ya muta komen ko nyen WhatsApp group ol ibe wol soron na wala te ibe to crack down on them ima sembo soto bi ima sembo soto sama andu ila generation of ta sembo soto no because dunia evolve tale a evolta nyadi le wala nyente ko nite dula suki dula dole ka fonte bari nyimbe ka ko bunda fa wala munyente ko keep your eye on the price. The price here in the what I mean here wala munyente ko governing inya telling governing proper governance inya tele wala ka je komin ko tonya Gambia dingol altol le mande dinna alien sambanang alko ngana do ku okal mbe do ku okal by being fair among the whole Gambian people. But unless you do that, you become a total failure, a total disappointment to the hopes and aspirations of so many Gambian people. And nyine be caring, nyune mukute mi alonga be caring na banko kambi. Ni ira la police ol be wulla, iko ikata boral arrest, iko ikata madi jobate nyolle arrest. And omo kilina kilingolu, molle le kumaka masilan ningo foitela within your ranks. Imam femfoy, hane minister alfama funti taje kumaka masilan nimbafo, Ibrahim G. Sankare, a funti taje na wuli abafo. Ko ha, Usenu Boja, mi alonka e police din kende fulafa. Iko. Usenu Bojan neofa. But all evidence are pointing otherwise. So Mansakunda al nyanta ka telinne. Mansakunda al kuke mi alonka Gambia dingol protect la. Mansakunda nyeng Usenu Bojan fana ye family le soto abota kabilo le kono abota tundo le to. Al kana jube kominko Usenu Bojan apema amu kilon dingoleti. Al kana forsake to try all possible means ka cool concoct to cook them kaje kominko aliene associate to the opposition. Now ali ku mimbetra ya baby fail. Why not? For crying out loud, ali al nya telling do kula me alonko ka Gambia develop ka good governance sustain to promote the rule of law, democracy and the protection of fundamental rights and liberties of the Gambian peoples. Alal nya lo kam because wala mukuti ngal sambana minnanko ali nyinke sanying ali nyindo koke. But everything is contrary. Drokol bebe siare na Bangkoka. Corruption is a new form of religion in the Gambia. So Mansakunda be muna proof no la Gambia dingol. Usenu Bojang alko wale afa ala sambakot. Usenu Bojan ning ayatara Mansakunda ka mimfo iko wala mutonya ti ko Usenu le nyimfa ayatara ndeysan tonya be katara bulu kilingo le kono way wa mari Mansata late la mala dadar late way mari Mansata la kuita bondi no la noto anytime ye kurungo tabi doronga bele katinya Usenu Bojan bere nying incident be kela Usenu Bojan be siringa la suwa kona be do ku dulale. We have seen evidences. So shall we sit by Ngajube Kominko? Usenu Bojan has to go through all of this just simply because ateba fata la fa fata. So Usenu wala sacrificial lampe. Ngo in the Gambia, if you believe that I break the law, you have enough evidence in Samba court. Because court ni tata woto luwa le katama je evidence or lel kafundi. But unless and until you produce an evidence, you have no case. Alekuo ming albemin tabikan luo lunsuta tele. Gambia badingol sunkurtale. We are interwoven, interrelated and intertwined. Gambia dingol be wala nyama. Nasinya is multifaceted. Whether you're Jola, Mandago, Fula, Mandingo, Nasinyal teng. As a Kenyao be a strength thanks to Mr. Adama Barrow. Because of, for evidence best known today, another topic of discussion at another day. But ku keta in the government, we know about it. So albe kata kuol mil bela la bula. Alal nyatiling governance la. Ali molla rights or respect. Al molla fundamental civic rights or respect. Ko mbete taranola krinti. We have to have a fundamental disagreement in how to steer the affairs of this country called the Gambia. Ite ba ke kanyami. I may have plan B, kaje komen kona keta ten wole be fast la, abe efficient la, and it will yield more results and dividend. Instead of spending much more money on that. Another person can say, okay, I have a different approach to see Gambia to head towards the promised land. Shared value, share ideas. Nsulata wala. Bari manyang kata, nga government sta miya lonko nga jike ko nge sende, nga naje they infringe and cause impunity and violate our rights and liberties. Senegal jube, ye la nyanto fight for ye tonya lankene mata. Ngo, tonya nimbataro ni lata tonya doro neka prevail white. Alinga kata nga balu tonya la, nga tonya fasa. Kaje ko hani bakili mfakili nyo nae tonya tanoke, ete nyanta ka mimfaya wala mnyenti ko nyimanke tonya te white. Equally, ntolbela central government nga nati, because being alone the BBB, Mr. Adama Barrow is a colossal mistake. Adama Barrow is a failure. He has no skill, no ambition, no zeal, no charisma, no willingness to even try. Maleka fanyadile. Ama hamo soto. Puruka a try from Gambia move. Because name one thing, Adama should focus in governance. Kaja coming ko molu min sum kanyol mil babala. Mol mil ka kumandin jelo fai, mol min ka kumol fai. Mili alonko, they are disconnected with the reality of the situation on the ground. B. Konkole be Gambia, konko be ye. Abe laren coming that politician ya fanyam, Mr. Mane. Anunga o statistics all beta le nga dialla. Na fali le woman kentela kuma county. Those are real statements. Those are profound, very profound statements. Milia Lonko ibe laring on the records of the Gambia. Kaja coming ko fuaria from 2016 kana nyen 2023 to. It is undeniable. Hi. Abukatala abe lafa kande doro. Ndamawoke. That's not what I wish for the Gambia. Lafita Gambia la in 2016 where I mobilized over close to hundreds and hundreds of people kaje coming ko. We believe ko Mr. Adama Barrow akamanya minga kuol minki I believe ko ala daji ko minti. We believe ko ning ayatrali karte fayali ning lose ta nyin chance nyin na it means Yaya Jammeh would be crowned a king where atela descendants soldam malebekela mansati Gambia. And that is an upset to democracy in the Gambia. Because this kingship and Nkudolu Tenten, they are undemocratic. Gambia Mawolo. So there should not be any single person coming to say that Kaje Komenko government institution is would turn to become a family enterprise. Amanyankake? Not to be done by even me. Mr. Adama Barrow, I can be a better president than Mr. Adama Barrow. Because a fahamuro benna, balafa benna, a hamo benna, a ning, a jiko fanam fango benna ka jubeko, ndamu fuaro leti. So ninna taka ke president oti, nyantaka fuaro mako nyami ye bo fuari yako no wai. But the African leaders, nitol sita, ye nyindula nene, ika nyina wo fuari ala demingo bela ka je komen ko lunnel sita e dabe fango funkula tay nene man tulo soto be mula min fo ika dulinol anin tulu se ika wallal fangol nyami ke mu walla way. And these are harsh realities. Nyul mukulati mi alon so many Gambians can relate themselves to. Ka je ko nyul la mukuti mi alon ko they are undeniable facts. So why Gambia dingol nka tonya nakari nka molu mutankela rights will violate just for the sake of it. Kaje katonya kunna falling as if Ibrahim Sankare came and lied to the whole Gambian people to say that ko nyemmo mi ko milie usenu bojan nam mi Gambia dem police fulofa wo abedoko la Brikama area council and wo mari amu UDP call it. Why does it have to cost us so much to lie against the opposition. The oppositions are government in waiting. We have different plans and approaches and skill set. Kaja come in control la fite kanyine ke puru Gambia e bo tu nengo kono. Bari altol, as we speak, albe man sakunda kono. Ale plan nyadi la soto Gambia noli. Now albe silo dadala, we expect you to make a modern roads for us whereby I can just like in the colonial days the silo mil dada Gambia Bangkoka. Yesilo dada ila nganiola, ila horomo anila, ila honesty bela kaje komenko. O silo in the next 2 years or in the next 15, 20 years, o sila kilima etc. nyono je. Bari manyanku dada la mole ko because you feel that ko government ne okodo dila. Government dun woman ke mode whereas government muite mari fangolet. Bari tonya, we just have to establish that. Kaje ko tonya, ate it matters a lot. And tonya ate ka dimim bakele. Tonya tano na fota dawda mobile nyanta ka nyaku ya fe wai. Ibrahim G. Sankara. Still now Gambians are waiting kaje coming ko ebe evidence ol funtindila na ko ya jele ko Usenu Boja ye kodo mim fango bejo ye ha molle ya jo ya fenken ko bataro bukata nyato de batara fo anim fania fo bukata dula jangwai. And the same Ibrahim G. Sankara was the same person fighting for the cause of the same thing when Yaya Jammeh was there. So if that is happening under the nose of Ibrahim G. Sankara, Mba Folam Fayeko, Ibrahim G. Sankara doesn't believe in anything. He's a nobody. Katuko amalla fenna, mu kurumolem, katuko kununko ye minkuo kele. B, ite be suffering under the same government, wobe oku kilimole keka, and you become an accessory to that. Oh boy, Lord have mercy on your freaking soul. That ite atandile Gambia dingo lako ite manke fente. And in fact, police should invite Ibrahim G. Sankara for all those utterances kaje coming kwate evidence also. Ample evidence as he put it. A video beji, a record beji. Nemodo mati with a common decency, honor, integrity, and a sense of patriotism. Atenyanta palaso bulala wai. Atenyanta ka resign ne bika atandi Gambia dingo la he muna yara fantanga faniale fo. He bari yara fante ngamim fonundal makeku. Nko, let us believe in something why? Let us have value. Let us have a value system whereby kaje komenko foite be balula le waitara depending alaka why. But you should not depend on individual. In America he antolla jang. Doku wolte ban. Doku siata fata mbita nanela. So ite mari ne hamo soto I wakilita. You will keep your head above water. But in Ibrahim G. Sankara and others, what do they believe in? Walman lafika bata wale akende, they would have to go back home, saying that they have a calling from Gambia to say to go back to serve for country. There is nothing more profound and more honorable than going back to serve for country. But if you do it, you have to do it with principles and value. Kaje komenko, ite seita wodula minto, molla liye wo mara, wal mam minkeno, ite lafite etaradge ye kuke, miya lonko to be transformative. Nsulata nyinala. But look at all of them, ranging from Suntu Ture and other people, milia lonko, ibota nyimbankol, yara fanyulman belief, and these people, they have a specific hate towards Mr. Yaya Jammeh, because what we believe in, Yaya Jammeh was a tyrant, and he is going to continue to be a tyrant. Yine akende amansino dunia dula kono sakorenko Gambia banko. Bari, ite Yaya Jammeh condemn of all those violations and ills, which was very honorable to do, because Yaya Jammeh was a monster. Bari, above all, that same Yaya Jammeh loves his country. He defended the Gambia, kaje komenko. All this occupation means in Gambia Bangkoka ne ya jamelong atesonala why? What is more decent? Kela own army and the police use to look out for you in your own country. At least if there would be secret leakages of information, ila banko dingol ni wol be kantakang or at least wol tella filaka information o dol funtin de Bangkoka bantala to lay hand in to lay in the wrong hands. But Mr. Adama Barrow has defied everything that Gambian people had fought for. So yeah, Jube, Mr. Adama Barrow may come and continue to like a war fong when history was on the peak of being remaking. Nila fundamental problem was startale. Kaja Komenko, you do not need a youth movement because Gambia be muitala youth movement all day. Unless you listen to us because of your sinister approaches and plans, Nikuyata from the get-go. Even our party members were saying that go ngebola ya fenke ketenting. Modolo amanjari kumfanunte yala hadamadi ya mukarangolti. Eka hadamadi ngoje anyala anala manya few weeks inyanta ka alone o mari la potential bekenola nyadile. But you have disappointed Gambian people. Just merely the abrogation of the fundamental value system in the Gambia. Our democracy. Nimma rekindle ay tara to another level of standard. Na democracy amanyanka jitoriere. Na democracy molel fata purungan nanyin democracy soto in Gambia. Molel senator wolte din soto nola mumeke for the sake of Gambia. Nga moile in the TRRC ya modol bute foi balol kono ka azibol fango tondi ka kaitol taike janike tondi kan foi fata dag ya dolu kungo kundu I balo pidi ta wole nyama vi fenketa foi sumyata dok wol si falo ye muso dolu nyapinkan ye futu nya kolenna grupol besila ye futu nya kolenna bin kana o si falel jemilia lonko woku manel mil beketa na bankoka bi min nyanta ka wokuo nyin charis to nourish it ka jube ko amanyan ka slide even kan jankeleng ka ta to the doldrums. But that person ala desire and the appetite to stay on power, war democratic gains are beginning to capsize, have already capsized. And we have a big dictatorship in the Gambia. And the Gambian people, Milia Lonko Yakuo Kelenung in 2016, will put their life, blood, and sweat one more time. Kaja Kominko. That thing is unsustainable. Pura tunna Bangkoka. Why? Ni bekela hadamadin kendo te kuno ye minkong. Inyanta kontinela la ka kondoro. Kuno mimanyang amanyandoro. And that Nyanola, even in China, because China is part of the world. Memba Nyanjang, at Nyanola dunia kono dulato wai. Alinga telling Mr. President Adama Barrow, ye privilegeless sort of me alongo you could make things right. Ka je coming just for the sake of the position and the prestige. Imanyang kasi ka je coming ko. Ite sino la Gambia banko kan ye palaso bula. And just like I said, hani na danta tanting, a danta jan dorong, you'll be prosecuted for a very long period of time. Because ku mane balel kete ila maralo koto, and yet still we don't see anything happening. Kaje kominko, you are not doing any effort puru okuol nyulielo. Instead, Gambian la taxpayer wollel ka dung dulal to nko ma fo ikana mol higher to positions ma foko you do not have to put people in position but ni be akela put the right people in the right position regardless of whatever they are Gambians. Lafite mulke palasol to milia lonko they would have the Gambian feelings. Kajeko Gambia belongs to Gambians. And ninku bekela jetende tolu iba katakuo bekelale kajeko menko they defend country instead of leaders. That is what I expect people to do. And that is what I would do if I am given the chance to serve in the country. Kajeko menko kamansa nehal kakuma diaring fire. No, I believe if I were to serve in the country, in the government, I will speak truth to power. In fact, they cannot condone it. They will fire me way longer. But you know what? I have decency. I have honor. I have integrity. And I'm fan kanule malafi to serve with any government like the government of Mr. Adama Barrow, which have a questionable character. Katoko mi alonko, you serve for this government. Nobody can rescue this government. Nobody. Because Ninyul Nyantaka fallen days would have changed 7 years ago. Bari man tele, eka tilembalia condone, eka corruption o condone, eka fuaria condone na bankoka. Andong, even the democracy tinyaka. They are just decapitating our democratic gains. Amanyankake. The Gambia government, presidency of the Republic of the Gambia, is not Barokunda. The presidency of the Republic of the Gambia is not Barokunda, Manyankake Barokunda. Atekela Sise Kundati Sakojata Kunda, Wala Ture Kunda. All of you people will believe me beyond reasonable doubt. Kaje coming ko tonya tenyantaka fola et fasa. Bari kuol mil bebe keri nyima bankoka. Under Mr. Adama Barrow. Inene wuli talebang in your quiet moment, ye see. Ye fanyininka. Ko, yeah. What has gone wrong? Mune falinta. Kabrin 2016. Gambia Bay and Lafi. Gambia Bay Nyantanto. Mobukang oppose. For almost 2 to 3 consecutive times. Yes. But mune falinta within this last moment Gambia base fatana sonto nyala miya lonko hani dendengol fang wallel darajatanti. If you sit in your quiet moment ye fanyinenka mune falinta mune wono. As a leader of a country, you will make a bold decision. And you should be able to make a wise decision. Kaje coming ko tonya. Ntede, ma fero soto, ma londo soto, ma hamo soto, ma wakilo fanam fam soto, barib sanyende, ngamera nyanta samfula jusulale, nan teoside. And wo samfu jusula ke teoside does not have to be violating the fundamental right system of the Gambian people. It should be the other way around. Kaje ko tonya. Ibe teo siti la muna wolen ka dokuo ke Gambia. Kan na democracy fasa, kan na rule of law fasa, kan na freedom of speech ka fasa Gambia bankoka. Inyanta ke inyatele wala. Nyimol milibe bale ka kumol foy ha nyanta ka nyimol busale nyenye wala mo kilimal te mili tinyaro ke yaya jamme. Andi mo kilimal. Ngo, Mr. Adama Barrow. Do you assess yourself? Do you sit down in your quiet moment and re-evaluate yourself, Kajubeko? For tonya. Are you the real Adama Barrow that we knew before? Kajubeko tonya fo. Ete mo killing olatiba. Katuko, we the Gambian people do not believe this is the Adama Barrow. Ma mira mumeke. Telimbali amimbe Gambia Bankoka. Konko mimbe Gambia Bankoka. Lua tinya mimbe Gambia Bankoka. Anin corruption o nin cocaine nying kumaniranke bal mil bebe kerim Bankoka. Ye mun plan ne soto ka wo fix. That's what the Gambian people need to know. Gambia dingol be lafere mpuru kanyulle long. Ngo mose ke la terti nyahonya nae kukurunka abondije. Hane atara omo famunte famaleti. The same thing inyantaka wole ke amarila. The same thing we expect though de. Hana atara ketete barindati. Wale barindon. Komi wonja kasane. Ay Gambia dingol kidnap. Amanke police di. Amanke NIA and amanke hani security officer found. Aye kidnap, aye put in one place. Mune ketal. Mr. Adama Barrow. Nenko num moe before 2016 nyinsi falel bina akela na Bankoka. Bi aka mujama ka fa Gambia Bankoka manke kako kudole ke fa bari jusu kuya ni kuya anin kudo wole ka Gambia dingol fa among other things. Konkoka Gambia nol fale. Fuaria ke fale. Anin kodi soto balia Ani lua tinya ni nyinku maranke be mimbe. But among other things, minka mol fa Gambia banko kam B. Nikuya. Because mujama bije ila jusoka muntabe kuntula la jolon duma. Few days ago, ngaje the CDS was handing over to the new one. Abediamula, but I saw one basic fundamental wrong in that whole picture of that handing over. Seeing Sidinjai in that picture. Ndesan, modolu juso la fita kuntula le fang kajolong. Simply because Sidinjai mu Gambia banku ding jawaleti, mole mati miya lonka e Gambia dingol la rights all violately, and he wanted to subvert the will of the Gambian people. Akoite kalila wo bankoka. That is treasonous. Sidinjai wol nyanta tarla searing 2x6 wall letter. Kaje kominko banku dengol la nyanto miya lonko koi ite Adama Barrow e nyanta kake president ti banko kambar Sidinjai ko hani barinde san. Just like I said, handing over CDS drama was handing over to Mama Cham. That was all good. But the only worst and bad thing is seeing Sidinjai in that whole picture. Oh boy, Lord have mercy on Gambia. We need a national prayer for our country. Thank you, Musa Sedi. Thank you, Musa Sedi. Bankudin kendeba lemuiti. Musa. Ye Gambia kanu. Ye ku kendeba ke Gambia, and you continue to speak. Thank you for your service to country. You do not have to be in uniform to serve your country. What we are doing, as for me, I serve for the Gambia, put in the uniform of the Gambia, and I respect the flag of the Gambia. I did it with due diligence, with par excellence. Honeybee and Sama Mamola right violate when I was in uniform. But I continue to serve my country in a different capacity by speaking truth to power. Ka tandiko maral jao aning lua tinya anim the violation of the right, the fundamental rights, the democracy, and the freedom of speech of the Gambian people cannot be left unchallenged. Gambia belongs to all of us. As Gambians, we just sit and speak. Although we'll have so many people sitting by and say, oh, I'm not affected. When it comes to your turn, it will be too late. So we better all talk, brace ourselves, and make hay while the sun shines. But it is unconscionable. It doesn't add value to our governance structure. To rule our Gambia should be as the most simple thing as well. Although small country, but very dynamic. In our country, the Gambia, we share a lot in common. That is our gain. That is our strength. And that is our value. Looking at the historical nature of our country, the Gambia, Majala Kominko, to unite the people of the Gambia should not take a long time because we are multifaceted, interrelated, interwoven, and intertwined. So, looking at when things are just like that, at the end of the day, you see the likes of Sidinjai, Fabaka Tomboronkulo Jata, are the people who are next in command for our country. The Gambia has no future then. Because these were the traitors who subvert the will of the Gambian people by imposing a nonsensical bill to say that Mr. President Yaya Jammeh's term should be extended, when the Gambian people have voted massively to get rid of the Africa's worst dictator in the passing of Yaya Jammeh at the time. Now Sidinjai, Fabakar Tombronklo Jata, can you guys imagine how painful this is to the Gambian people? This is why many people are dying in the Gambia, because of seeing the image of these people every day on national TV, sharing the affairs of our country, the Gambia. Make a huge betrayal from the get-go by nobody other than Mr. Adama Barrow. We are not saying that these people are not Gambians. Of course they can be Gambian, but they did something very fundamentally wrong that is un-Gambian. To say that when the verdict of the Gambian people have been pronounced, and you, anybody, whether military or civilian, trying to subvert the will of the Gambian people, you should be living in 4x4 cell. What has changed, Mr. Adama Barrow? What has changed? Why do you deviate from a very good person to become a supporter of impunity in our country? Unless you take the bull by the horn and crack down on what matters most. Even if that, like I said, has to be my father, let my father face the law. That is what will change the Gambia to be on a transformative footing. Yes, thank you, Musa Sedi. Sidinjai, Fabaka Tomborankulo Jata were the people who wanted to change Yaya Jammeh from being a president to become a king. Very undemocratic. Treasonous. What has changed, Mr. Adama Barrow? That is betrayal of the highest degree. And God have mercy on your soul. Just like I said, even if it stopped here, you will be prosecuted and you cannot sit in the Gambia. Because command responsibility in service. Under your watch, how many abuse of office happen? Under your watch, Mr. Adama Barrow, the FPAC of the Gambia National Assembly have uncovered 7 billion Gambian dollars. That is outstanding to be paid into the coffers of the Gambia. This is not my say. This is not my mere word. I'm not lying here. All what I am saying, I'm repeating all the figures. Your same government, your National Assembly members, 7 billion. How much can 7 billion do for the Gambia? Probably, if it is a matter of constructing road for the Gambia, at least we will have a very good standard road, I think. We will have a standard road. We have a good road, probably. But at the end of the day, when we are governing, we have to govern with sincerity. We have to govern the country with truth, impeccable character. We have to govern through charismatic personality. We have to govern our country based on the realities of our intuitive nature, that we are juxtaposing, we are correlated in the Gambia. So, to convince my other neighbor to become a very honest and honorable person has to begin with me being honorable, sincere, just, truthful, being patriotic. But what has changed under the atmosphere of the Gambia? When we criticize Mr. Yaya Jammeh of all these right violation, abuses, impunity, kidnapping, for all those things to come back and boomerang in our face today, to say that today we sit in the Gambia, we see people being invited at the police force. They go live there within and outside the jurisdiction of 72 hours. That becomes unlawful. It is profound. It is injustice. And it is kidnapping. And the government says nothing about that. And the police who are supposed to protect our lives are the ones who are doing that. Now the question here is, who will police the police to make sure that to put them in check? To make sure that they do the right thing by the Gambian people and never jeopardize the democratic gains that we have made in our country to make sure that the status quo remains the same. And it would now come to each according to your ability and according to what you can do to change your life and livelihood, because chance would hit at your door. We need a Gambia where Mr. Adama Barrow, being a president, does not have to dictate what the Inspector General of Police do. Whereas, even where he has a fundamental difference with the opposition, the police should be a neutral body in our country where everybody would be treated equally under the law, regardless of who you are or where you come from. This is the Gambia I envisage. Unless these things change, and unless Mr. Adama Barrow treat people the way they need to be treated, we will keep talking. Make no mistake, Mr. Adama Barrow, you cannot seize the liberties and the fundamental freedom of speech of the Gambian people. Because the same freedom of speech and fundamental liberties of the Gambian people is what brought you into power. How dare you today to come sit by without no iota of shame to sit down and say crack down on internet, crack down on social media. If it were me and Sir ABC, I would be so shameful of myself. Because come to think of it, we had talk and talk and talk until you came to power. And once you came to power, now you want to stop the same thing. I am here talking, I've been talking for the past 1 hour or so. I didn't use any profanity to insult or curse somebody's mother. But all I'm speaking, I'm based it on the truth, nothing but the truth. Fundamental truth. The basic livelihood of things that will progress our nation and our country. That's what I have been saying. I didn't curse anybody's name. So for anybody sit somewhere to say that, oh, because they are talking, ranting here and there, we're going to be trying to arrest them when they come to, make sure you build so many good cells. Because we will know that then Yaya Jammeh is better than you, Mr. Adama Barrow. So these are some of the things they are odd, they are wrong, they are not good, they are not what decent people would want to associate themselves to. Leave the Gambian people to speak, because this is an inalienable right given to them by God. Not by your government. You didn't bring democracy to Gambia. Gambian people brought democracy in the Gambia, because if it were you have only one vote. You were lucky to be the leader of that change. But you didn't bring change. Change brought you. So you should be an agent of change in our country. Don't suppress on the life and the rights and liberties of the Gambian people. So this is very important. If you sit in your quiet moment, Mr. Adama Barrow, these are things. If you are an agent of change, if change brought you to power, you should not be anything other than supporting that change. Not to subject or subvert that change or the rights of the Gambian people. That is appalling. It is wrong. And the police need to take a neutral ground. In all facets, the police is an honorable institution that should be devoid of political affiliation. Don't allow yourself to be used by leaders in the capacity of Mr. Adama Barrow to have a tainted legacy in that reputable institution. The police force is an honorable institution. So we are there for every individual. We should be there to protect the lives and liberties of every individual, not the other way around. So, a word for a wise is enough. Mr. Adama Barrow, we do not hate you, but we despise your actions. Things that we had said and chased Yaya Jammeh to be out of our country. We brought you thinking that you would be changing. You would uphold those rights and never allow them to deteriorate to slide into dictatorship. But if we see you doing the same thing, it would be hypocritical for us not to talk about it or despise it. Gambia belongs to Gambians. Nobody father owns the Gambia. And the presidency of the Republic of the Gambia is not a Barrow Kunda. It's never going to be Sise Kunda, no Jata Kunda or Ture Kunda. It will remain as the office of the presidency of the Republic of the Gambia. The less you know this, the better for you. Because Gambian people are never going back to the days of dictatorship, even though dictatorship still live it with us. But we're going to fight it tooth and nail to make sure that it never have to stick in that country by any means necessary, because we are not going back to anything other than democracy, rule of law, fundamental value and value system of the Gambian people. Today, your government should be preventing themselves from sleeping by looking at the hunger rate in the Gambia, because Gambia is a poverty-stricken country. They're hungry. How would you solve that? That is what Gambian people want to know. But a political bickering, malaise, and all those unnecessary speeches, we want you being a leader, you need to be measured in all facets, types, shapes, and form. But speaking in an undertone puts you to be underrated by so many people. And many people ridicule Gambia when they see you talking the way you are talking. It is not good. You need to change for the better. Focus your eyes. Put your eyes on the prize. And by that I mean focus on governing, good governance for that matter. That is what will help you to be immune from prosecution. Thank you very much. Friends of the Gambia, Gambians. One more time, this is Ensa ABCC, United States of America. I thank you all.